before I started working with Mike, I was quite active. I'd come back from a cruise ship operation, so I put a bit of weight on then, and I think in my head I'd lost quite a bit of motivation to do certain things, and quite frightening to go back to certain sports. So I hit the gym, but when I did my cruise ship in, I came away from that. So in my head, I was quite motivational to do gym work, but not knowing really where to go. It was kind of like hard. I found that week after week after week, the weight wasn't moving. So I got stuck in a bit of a rut, really. And I didn't really know where I was going or what to do. But I had put a bit of weight on, like I say, and in my head, it was kind of like, if I could just go and lose weight, I'd be happy. And that was my aim, to work with Mike, to just do that, really. But what I didn't know at the time was that didn't make me happy. And by working with Mike, I found more about myself than I thought I did, really. And that's where I was, really. That was my focus. That was my aim, to work with Mike, lose weight. But I think it was even like holidays. You go on holiday where nobody knew you. It was kind of like you want to get a tan, but you didn't want people to kind of see you. My husband would say, "What's the matter with you? You're not fat. You're not that big. Don't worry about it." And people would say, "Give over, you're not that big." But to me, I was. I knew that I wasn't right. So even though I'm probably not that big, in my head, I've got the wrong bits, the wrong figure for me. So it didn't have a healthy relationship with my husband because I didn't feel confident in myself. So it's like little things that you do to try and disguise the fact that it upsets you, and it does upset you, and it's hard to live with day in, day out, because it affects your mindset, it affects the way you live, it affects your relationships, it affects your day-to-day life. Whichever way you look at it, it's in your own head. Nobody else can get in your own head apart from you, and it's something that you have to deal with yourself. You have to face that day in, day out, and it's hard. I think fear of the unknown, really, and the concerns about joining the programme initially was fear of failure on my part. Fear that, once again, I'd go and do something and I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd let myself down. I'd go through the programme and it wouldn't work. So it'd be me again. That was my initial thought. I won't be able to get to week 12, either because it'd be too hard for me to delve into my problems. It'd be too difficult, too deep to go into my past or my way of life. Basically, just wouldn't work for me. I think if I hadn't joined the programme, I think I was on the verge of just basically gaining more weight and just carrying on the way I was. Not maybe giving up sport, but lacking confidence in myself and just backing off sport, really. Because I think you get in a bit of a rut, like I say. My motivational was low, my work was stressful, my family life was difficult, and I think I needed help. It was like a breaking point for me. So I think if I hadn't have done it when I did it, I would have been on a very slippery slope, and basically I would have ended up in probably a dark place. I don't think it would have been a good outcome. I don't think I would have had the motivational skills to get up and go. So I think I would have put more weight on, maybe stopped training and just stopped living life, really, to the full. So when I had the initial conversation with Mike, basically went through really what the course was about and what he could offer. Just run through everything. And then you see, obviously, you could either sign up then or, have a think about it. For myself, I signed up there and then. I knew it was such a really good thing for me to do. So then he rang me back on the first Tuesday, and we went through basically just everything about me, really. Talked about me, my life, what I was eating, training, something that I probably haven't talked about probably for the first time that somebody's asked about me. It didn't take me by surprise, but it was more, gosh, somebody's interested in me. So it was quite good, really. And then we put things in place, just general ease into it, which was the first time anyone's taken kind of like an interest. And I felt okay about that. So that's how we ended up doing it. It was too good an offer. It was something that I needed to do, which totally surprised me. Mike's program is totally different. It's a complete opposite way. Everything I've done before is purely based on weight loss. Nobody's ever mentioned your well-being side. So when I've done slimming groups, all they've done is give you a diet sheet. Don't eat this, don't eat that, and tell you what you should eat or can't eat. You're basically focusing on how you view everything, how your mind is, your emotional side is, and how you view things. Then the nutrition follows. even in the first 5-6 weeks, I could understand why I was doing it, but I kept thinking, why? I just want to lose weight. But I did it. And then going through the emotional side and the plans and the program and the homeworky bits, you know, and the questions are quite thought-provoking. It did make sense as to why all this time I wasn't ready to lose the weight, and I would never lose the weight until I cleared what was in my mind, cleared what was stopping me losing that weight. I don't think there was anything that I didn't like about Mike's programme. I think there were times when I got uncomfortable about answering the questions, but that's purely because some things you don't want to think about. But the more you think about things, the easier it becomes when you get down to it. But that's why you need to think about them, because the hardest thing about what's making maybe stop losing weight or whatever your problem is, you don't want to think about it. So I think you have to go through the process to get to the end. It does make sense. Once you've wrote it down on paper or you've talked about it, it does become easier. But that's what the problem is about at times. It making it easier in the long run, definitely. What did I like most about Mike as a coach? Well, there's a question. I think Mike is an amazing coach, really. He's very open and honest. He always knows the answers before you do. He's very supportive, and I think basically he will go the extra mile to help you. If you need something from him, if he can do it for you, he will do. Just everything about Mike is just, he will always give you 150% no matter what. Support-wise, he's there for you. And again, knowledge. If he doesn't know it, he'll find it. He's just an amazing guy. Dead supportive, dead knowledgeable, and he's there for you. So if you want a coach that will work with you, find answers for you, be there for you through your frustrations, your struggles, your emotional side, then definitely Mike's your coach for you. Loyal friend, he's there for you. Now I've come through the programme, it's been a massive change for me. It's like I'm looking at the same person in the mirror, but a totally different perspective. I've forgiven the person that I was, and I'm learning now to love this person again. I'm no longer like looking for answers, really, and I can make new choices with clarity. The past is no longer blurred, it's no longer dragging me down. I don't need answers to make me happy, because I am happy. Just everything about the whole self is totally different. I'm basically loving the fact that I'm now at the beginning of a journey now, whereas I think before I wasn't even at a journey. And I've got purpose in life, and I've got a healthy relationship now with food. By going through this, I've stopped wanting to please everybody else, and I've learned to love me first and then love everybody else as well. I've loved myself, and I'm now on a new journey, new beginnings, and like I said, there's so much more to explore in life now, and my head's no longer full of a past that was dragging me down. But yeah, a new beginnings, basically. I would tell somebody reaching out to get Mike's help, what you're waiting for. It's the hardest thing you'll do. It's hard to admit that you might need a bit of help, and just saying, yeah, I'll do it. What have you got to lose? I lost all the baggage. I lost a lot of guilt that I carried forward. Absolutely the best thing that I ever did, because I've learned so much about myself. I've got rid of so much baggage that I carried, and I've learned that life is for living now, and you're only here for a short time, so just live it to the full. So yeah, you can't not do it. What have you got to lose? Just go and do it, definitely. The best thing of getting Mike's help was finding out so much about myself that probably I didn't know, getting rid of things that I didn't know I had in my head, and addressing things that I probably wanted to think about but I didn't have the confidence within to think about and get rid of. And finding me, it was finding that feeling again, finding the energy that I had, that when I used to play sport, it was just a high all the time. I used to love life. Now I'm back in that feeling again. I'm finding things to do, finding life, finding new interests, and I've got that same buzz again. It's like having an adrenaline rush again, and I've found that feeling purely by doing this. And I think we get so dragged down with life and family and general day-to-day living that we forget to live. I found a new existence for me, new interests, and I found the new spark, a new lease of life. Looking for things to do, new interests, new hobbies, and I found myself again. a new beginning for me, definitely. New beginnings for me. That's what I found anyway, so yeah. Definitely. New beginnings at my age. You're definitely excited for new beginnings at my age, yeah. No, I expected to feel that I was, but I never did. I always thought that at some point they were going to say, here's your diet sheet. We never got a diet sheet. It just becomes a way of life. There was never any point that you can't have anything. No, there was never a diet, because I think diet means restrictions, and I can't do restrictions. That's when it becomes dangerous. You restrict it, and then you go bang at the weekend, and then you cram it all in the weekend, and then it becomes the Monday diet club. You start again on a Monday, and you start again, and the vicious circle becomes the vicious circle. And I've learned that there's flexibility in nutrition. I think it was more effective having a coaching program, purely because on the coaching side, it addresses things that you don't want to talk about. It gets down to the reasons why, because you can, like I said, you can hammer it at the gym, but as soon as you go out there, you can go and eat whatever you want, and it doesn't really get down to why you're doing that. You can say to your coach, yeah, it's perfectly good in my diet, I'm doing this, that and the other, and I don't know why I'm losing weight, I'm doing all this in the gym, but in reality you're not. I would say 9 times out of 10, there's normally reasons why you're doing it. Either problems in your past life, or even the vicious circle, or you're just basically bored. And it just go hand in hand. Exercise, mindset, well-being, even meditation. So I think it's a perfect way to do it, because I've learned by doing this, it addresses things that maybe you don't initially think are a problem. It's a very enlightening way of doing it, but it's a fantastic way to do it. And I think you've got to do this over banging it out the gym, definitely. I'd say that I'm extremely proud of myself, and that's something that I'd never thought I'd say. Prior to this, I didn't feel proud of myself, so to come through it and say that I'm proud is something that I'm quite proud to be proud. I feel quite tough, really, that I've gone through it and I've cleared my mind. I feel like I've cleared things that were dragging me down, and it's kind of like a weight, and I mean a massive weight. 40 years of weight has gone, and one, I feel like I've passed and I'm not a failure. And 2, extremely proud of the fact that I've got to the end of it, and everything that I've done, I've achieved, and I've got rid of so much baggage in my life, and I've got through with clarity, with new beginnings and new focusing. And I feel like my journey hasn't ended, really. My own motivation's high, my self-esteem's quite high. Proud is definitely one of the adjectives, yeah. Proud, quite happy with proud. Yeah. What would I have Mike to thank for? Without him, I wouldn't be here now. I owe him everything. For somebody to take time week after week to go through everything he's gone through with me, it's probably hard listening to me drone on week after week. And basically to get rid of, like I said, 40 years of what I believed in was a massive thing. And he probably knew the answers before I did, and took time to explore my head, which probably wasn't easy. And to get me to this point in the time he's gone through the programme is just amazing. To feel the way I do now to where I was at the beginning of the programme, it's like I'm looking at a different person in the mirror. I've got confidence, a chance to live again, to start new enterprises. I've got a chance to do new things in my life. So to get me to where I am now, without Mike, I owe him everything. It's one thing to say thank you, but it's another thing to say, go and do this programme. If anyone's asking, would you do it? Go and do it with Mike, because he's the best chance you've got of doing something with your life. Just go and do it, definitely.